Hi everyone, it's me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Alana and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 6 years, and today we're going to talk about mental health. Yay! Now, before we begin, I have a real bone to pick, if you will. In my humble opinion, I think expat content or foreigners abroad or immigrants in their new home country or any of that kind of stuff on social media, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I think so much of that content glazes over the fact that being an expat, moving abroad, being an immigrant in a new country actually puts quite a bit of strain on your mental health. And I just feel like nobody talks about it. So today we are going to right that wrong. We're going to talk about mental health, and specifically I'm going to share all the ways that I actually work on my mental health as an immigrant, as an expat or a foreigner, or whatever you want to call me, that's fine. But the things that I actually do. Should I say that I'm not a doctor? I feel like that's obvious, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm not a doctor. This is just things that help me, and I hope that they can help somebody else. If you like this video and you want to see more videos of what it's truly like being a foreigner living in the UK, please consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's go. Now, a big thing that I think people perhaps don't consider is that when you move abroad, perhaps to the UK, it's a wonderful place over here. When you move abroad, you bring your issues with you. So when you land in Heathrow, which is very exciting, yay, new adventure, new experiences. However, when you land in Heathrow, your mental baggage and your mental health is going to land with you. You can't just run away from your problems. You can't move away from your problems either. So don't use the idea of moving abroad as this like big escape, because unfortunately it will not work. And the thing with moving abroad, especially for me, especially at the beginning, is that it is really tough. Otherwise, everybody would do it. It is extremely overwhelming and scary and just hard work. When you first land, you're trying to find a job, trying to find a place to live, you're trying to make friends and assimilate and just figure out how the buses work. There's so much that happens at the beginning, and I found that it made my anxiety so much worse. So my current motto is that I need to do good things for myself. I need to do positive things for myself so I can feel good and I can be positive and I can be healthy. If I don't do those things for me, if I neglect myself or I make bad choices, then shockingly, I'm going to feel bad. So I have some things that I do, especially at the beginning of being an expat, but even now, 6 years later, I still do them so I can be positive and healthy and I can feel good and my anxiety can be just a little bit quieter. A really big aspect of whether I'm going to feel good or bad is food. It's almost shocking how much it impacts my mental health. So very simply, if I eat poorly, I'm going to feel poorly. That's just the way it is. If I have an unbalanced diet, I'm going to feel bad. So a very big part of making sure I'm as happy and healthy as I can is making sure that I have a balanced diet. I love to eat, but sometimes I love to eat maybe the wrong things. So I really do try and focus on having a balanced diet. Obviously, I don't want to be obsessed about it because with that comes its own issues, but I need to fuel myself and my brain so I can be happy. Typically, this involves some type of meal plan. I don't necessarily meal prep because I feel like that's one step above my ability, but meal planning is really helpful. So I make sure that A, I'm eating what I need to, but also it like cuts down on food waste. So I'm not like throwing stuff out because I couldn't eat it in time. But no matter what, diet, oh my goodness, food, oh my goodness, is such a key part in making sure that I feel good. Ad time. Huge shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. Let me get right to the point, okay, before you click away. If you use my link in the description and code HelloAlana, you're going to get 50% off your first HelloFresh box. 50% plus 35% off your next 3 boxes. Now I know that literally no one knows how to spell my name, so that is Hello, A-L-A, NNA. Yes, you can thank my parents for that. You can use my link in the description. Add in hello Alana. You're gonna get a huge discount. Okay? And I think it's a pretty fun thing. So let me tell you why I like it. Sometimes between work and life and simply existing, I feel like I have too much on my plate. And that was an unexpected pun. Trying to pick a recipe, then going out and getting the ingredients and then cooking it, and I'm not really sure what I'm doing. Sometimes it's just a bit overwhelming and I'd rather just have a pot noodle. But to be honest, I know that eating actual meals with actual food is so important to my overall well-being that I think it's something that you gotta make time for. HelloFresh comes in and says, hey, how about these meals? Here's all the instructions, here's exactly how to make them, and then you're left with a really great meal at the end. So if you are busy, if you feel like cooking is one of those things that you just can't be bothered to plan out, to figure out what you're gonna have for dinner, but you know that eating is extremely important, maybe give them a try. I think it's fun. I have learned so many new recipes and have eaten so many cool dishes that I never would have done otherwise. So not only am I eating, but I'm actually kind of having fun. Who knew? So once again, thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. I hope you guys can make use of their code. Have something cool for dinner, all right? It's fun, it's neat, and you get to eat. But anyways, let's get back to my video. Now this particular thing I know is not for everybody, but journaling and specifically being mindful and grateful has worked wonders. Now, obviously none of these are like the magic pill. Like you do one of these things, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm cured. No, but it's ways that I can certainly improve my mental health, and journaling I find is one of them. I've used a variety of different types of journals, some just blank, some that are actually structured. The current one that I'm using right now is based on being grateful. So every morning you fill in things that you are grateful for, that you're looking forward to, that you're excited about. It really kind of like sets my day up to be positive and to focus on the good stuff. And then you check in at night with the journal and you add some bits in of what went well, what you were happy about. It's really, for me, focusing on the things that I can be grateful for rather than focusing on all the negatives. Obviously the negatives still exist, but I don't need to give them so much power over me. I realize journaling is not going to be for everybody, but it's something that I've found to be very helpful. Maybe you want to give it a try, see what it's like. But I've really enjoyed it. Next up, and another very big one for me, is daily movement. I know, not exciting, but wow, is it important? If I notice that my mental health has taken a downturn, I can usually count back to the last time I got some type of exercise. And typically, it's been a while. And I find that this is more important than ever, and maybe you are in a similar boat, that I work completely remote. I work completely from home. So my office is here in this flat. It's like 10 steps away. And I sit at my desk and that's it. Whereas in previous years, especially when I first started working in England, I took the bus, so I'd have to walk to the bus, take the bus into work. Sometimes the bus was full, so I'd be standing on the bus, then I'd walk to my office, my employer, and then, sit at a desk most of the day, but I'd still be like, there was more just sort of general walking, whereas now, I really don't even have to walk at all, which is not good. So I've been really trying to focus my energy on planning in daily movement, whether that is just, a 20-minute walk because I'm really busy and I just don't have time, but I get some fresh air, I get some daily movement. I also really love weight training. That's something that I actually am excited about and I really enjoy. So I make sure to schedule that in. So going to the gym and actually doing weights, spending that time doing that exercise. I've also taken a membership at like a rec center for swimming. So sometimes after work, I used to go to the like community center pool type thing and I would just swim laps. I enjoy swimming and it gives me a different type of exercise. I've also done things like Pilates classes. So that's a good one in that you're doing it with other people. Even though it's not like the most social thing, you're not necessarily chatting with people, you are getting exercise with a group, which I found extremely helpful, especially at the beginning when you feel a bit isolated and you feel quite lonely. Even just doing a fitness class with other people honestly was wonderful. Other things like going for a hike on the weekend or even going for a very short run. It really doesn't matter what the movement is. I try to get a variety just like food, right? I try to get a variety of different foods. I do try to get a variety of different movements because, wow, moving is just like a huge component to feeling good for me personally, and maybe you find that as well. Now, I have lived in a bunch of different homes and flats, and with that, I have been a member at a variety of different gyms or like community centers or fitness centers. And honestly, I find here in Kent, there are loads of like gym chains, and they're all pretty reasonably priced. Things like True Gym, Pure Gym, The Gym, Snap Fitness. There's tons down here in Kent that are reasonably priced, and loads of them are actually 24 hours, which is pretty crazy. And for the most part, they're fitted out with all the things that you would need in a gym. So if you're new, definitely check that out. Check out local community centers to see if they have a gym. Check out local fitness classes, maybe yoga in a park or a Pilates class like I did, or even just a local pool that you could swim lengths. Just something to get you moving because, wow, does it ever make a difference? Now, I will say in terms of daily movement, I definitely prefer stuff that I can do outside. It's kind of like two birds, one stone. If I can be outside and I can get exercise, it really helps. Don't underestimate getting fresh air, being in nature. I find being in nature like really grounds me, especially when I'm like really struggling. My anxiety is like through the roof and I'm stressed out and all this other stuff. You know, being in nature, wow. It really does help. Next up, we have to talk about sleep, and more specifically, a sleep schedule. Now, I try very hard to follow a sleep schedule or a sleep routine throughout my time here in the UK because I find it's so helpful for me. So I try to go to bed around the same time every night, and I wake up around the same time every day. Even with my work hours being pretty flexible, even with weekends, even when I didn't have a job, I still tried to wake up around the same time, go to bed around the same time. I just find it's extremely helpful for me. And this also includes like a bedtime routine. So, I brush my teeth, do a little bit of skincare, make yourself feel good. Then I usually read in bed for a little bit. I try to have you're like a cool down, you're getting ready for sleep. Do that each night so my body's like, oh, okay, I guess it's time to sleep. And I just find it works for me. Now with mental health, we also need to talk about reaching out because sometimes lifestyle changes, positive daily habits may not be enough, and that's absolutely okay. But you do need to reach out and tell someone. This could be reaching out to friends and family, which may be a bit awkward at first, but talking about things is so important, and sharing what's going on in that big brain of yours is really important. And more likely than not, you'll probably find out that your issues are absolutely not unique. And I mean that in the best way possible. I think knowing that your particular issues or struggles are not unique, I feel that to be quite liberating because you're not alone. Like your problems, other people have those problems too. The UK also has quite a few charities that you can call, which is a really great resource, and I'll put some links in the description below. So numbers that you can call and speak with someone. Maybe you just need to get something off your chest. Maybe you're struggling with something, and you can call these particular charities, which I think is just a great service. Now, similar to reaching out, speaking to friends and family, maybe even calling one of these charities here in the UK, we also have getting help with the NHS. Now we have the NHS here in the UK, the National Health Service, and if you find that lifestyle changes maybe not enough, speaking out and reaching out to other people maybe not enough, then the NHS is there. Call your GP. Tell them the situation, that you're struggling with mental health, maybe the specific scenario that you're dealing with, and get an appointment with your GP. Now, I think we've all experienced, can I say all? I think most of us have experienced calling the GP for an appointment and the receptionist tells you that the next available one is in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's a long time to wait. But if you tell them that it is serious, that it is urgent, you may find that you can get an appointment sooner. Now your appointment finally comes around, you go see your GP, just be very blunt with them, explain to them what's going on, and they will be able to give you the next step. So whether that's medication, whether that's referring you to different places within the community, they will know what's available within your area, and they'll be a great starting point to figuring out what's best for you. Now that I have been working and living here in the UK for over 6 years, things are definitely easier. I feel much more at home. I feel less anxious, not no anxiety, but certainly less anxious than I did when I first started. So I do think it's helpful to know, like, in time, you will figure it out. It's very overwhelming at first, lots of changes, lots of new things, but you will figure it out in time. And even though I've been here 6 years, I still make sure I do positive things for myself so I can feel good. And I want to make sure that there is absolutely no shame in talking about mental illness, talking about mental health, talking about our own struggles, because I think the more that we talk about them, the more you will see that your issues are not unique. Lots of us are struggling in ways that overlap with each other. And hopefully we can support each other, we can talk about it, we can just make it, make life a little bit easier. If you like this video and you want to watch more videos, which would be totally awesome, why not check out this video where I share 6 British things that all foreigners need. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!